My parents skipped my engineering ceremony for my sister's penthouse. A year later I shut down my sister's luxury high-rise. I was 27, shivering in a drafty convention center. My name was being called in 5 minutes when my screen lit up. "We are already downtown, honey," my dad typed first, like that justified everything. Then he called. His voice boomed, completely ignoring that I was about to walk the stage. "We are celebrating your sister's groundbreaking today," he said. Mom chimed in. "Don't be selfish. Send us a picture of the certificate." In my family, flashy real estate was worshipped like gold. My sister got standing ovations just for signing a lease. I got a distracted nod for endless structural analysis, safety certs, and grueling math. I was the teenager hauling drywall at our first flip house at dawn, checking load-bearing walls while my parents bragged about her interior design. When she sold a condo, they booked a cruise. When I passed my board exams, my dad asked if I could fix their leaky roof. I walked across the stage and heard my name echo in the massive auditorium. Colleagues clapped. Mentors clapped. The row of seats reserved for my family stayed painfully empty. The state director leaned in as I took the plaque and whispered, "Brilliant work. You'll build the future." Later, our group chat was flooded with rendered images of my sister's new glass tower and endless praise for our visionary. Not a single word about my license. That exact night, I stopped fighting for a seat at their table. I legally changed my last name. Sarah Miller became Elena Vance. I accepted an oversight position in Chicago monitoring seismic retrofits and bought a plane ticket with a racing heart. I emailed my parents a short update. Dad replied, "We figured you would stay and do the blueprints for your sister." Chicago did not care about my family's inherited vanity. Chicago cared about physics. I spent my days auditing concrete stress tests, foundation soil samples, and bizarre stress microfractures that signaled catastrophic failure. That's when the real bombshell dropped. One Thursday, my agency's database flagged a massive irregularity in tensile strength reports across a new coastal development. The same LLC kept flashing in red on my monitor. Bile stung the back of my throat. It was my sister's luxury tower. I marched straight to my supervisor and disclosed the conflict. She didn't blink. "Understood," she said. "Now we tear it down by the book." I called my parents to warn them to evacuate the site and halt construction before the feds intervened. Mom snapped, "We are not ruining your sister's grand opening over a rounding error." My sister scoffed in the background. "You're just jealous of my success." 2 weeks later, Dad emailed me. "Press tour tomorrow." "Good optics," he demanded. "Come prove our buildings are safe." They did not want a daughter. They wanted my state credentials as a human shield. So, I flew back and walked onto the plaza with my new legal name burning a hole in my pocket. The courtyard was swarming with wealthy investors and caterers. Suddenly, the string quartet stopped playing. The microphone shrieked with a deafening pop. A wall of federal marshals marched past the velvet ropes. My sister saw me and flashed a desperate, plastic smile. She grabbed my arm and announced to the crowd, "This is my sister, the lead safety engineer." Dad hissed, "Just nod. Do not ruin this." The lead inspector pulled out a neon orange placard and spoke loudly. "Effective immediately," he declared. "This structure is condemned." The investors gasped, then panic erupted. Someone screamed, "The concrete is cracking." My sister spun around to face me, her perfectly manicured hands trembling. "You did this," she hissed, her eyes wild with rage. "I didn't forge the concrete data." "No," I said, stepping back. "Your greed did this, not me." My dad stepped in, face purple. "How could you betray your own blood for a bunch of bureaucrats?" I stared at the terrified buyers and the cameras broadcasting our faces. "Those people trusted you with their lives," I said. "You treated their safety like an accounting trick." After that, the empire crumbled overnight. Bankruptcies, criminal negligence charges, and seized assets. The family dynasty dissolved into endless litigation. My dad called me a coward. My sister called me a snake. Neither of them cared about the hundreds of families who would have been crushed in a collapse. The whistleblower reward was substantial because early intervention prevented a tragedy. I used every cent to launch an auditing firm that protects low-income housing from corrupt developers. The same breed that treated me like dirt ended up financing the safety of thousands. Months later, Dad sent a text with one pathetic line. "Maybe we should have celebrated your license." I replied once, "I am open to a real apology. I am not open to delusions." They never typed back, and for the first time in my life, the silence felt absolutely perfect.